Jack, today we're going to address a few of our audience questions. We have a Facebook group, the Colour Plan Community Group. If you're not in there already, guys, jump in there. It's well worth it. Tons of value. We have 200 different creatives, brand owners in there sharing what used to be industry secrets, but no longer. So dive in there, guys. We also did a questionnaire on the Instagram stories. So we had a bunch of people reach out and shoot through what they want us to talk about here today. So Jack, that's what we're concerned with right now.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one today. We haven't done a podcast like this before, and we definitely want to really be interactive with our community and, hear what people are struggling with and, try to bring value in different areas. So yeah, really keen to knock out a couple of questions that our community has had this past week.
Definitely, man.
Yep.
Take it away.
Cool. First one we have is, how do you price your garments? Probably one we get quite often. Jess, I might let you start with this one.
Cool. So pricing your garments, the first universal principle I want to talk about, this is especially for young brands starting off. When you start, you obviously have very few followers, very few customers, very few people showing interest in what you're doing. It's a given, right? We all start there. We've all been there. And the problem is you have to price your garments at this stage. And the moment you undervalue yourself, because you go, I only have, my family and friends that are really buying my products, so therefore I'll make it really affordable for them. That's the biggest mistake you can do, because you need to bet on yourself that this is going to be very successful, that after you've done a bunch of TikTok content, a bunch of social media content, this is going to be seen by a lot of people in other countries, other states. They're going to buy this product. And if your price is too low, you're pretty much screwing up the brand from day dot. From like a financial standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, there could be an element of like you're shooting yourself in the foot a little bit, for when you do grow and you've had this customer base that has come on the journey so far with those certain price points, and maybe they might be a bit reluctant if you were to bump that up, another 15, 20%, because you need the money and you figure out that that's, going to make your brand sustainable. So yeah, I think I would agree, Jess.
We're going to speak very broadly because I think we don't know what materials you're working with. We don't know what products you're working with. So it is tough to hold this chat and give you hard and fast principles, but I'll try my best. So I think if you're releasing a garment you pay, $30 for in streetwear, I think, and it is very hard to be super specific because I don't know what value you're giving the customer. And if you listen to our last episode, the more value you give, the more you're going to see back. And with that said, you can price your products accordingly. If you're giving away tons of free things, you're posting every day because that's value, and you're engaging with your customers, holding events, I would say charge more because that stuff's going to cost you a lot, financially and time wise. Again, I am struggling to give hard and fast principles, but I think people are reading between the lines.
Yeah, one general one's probably that you want to charge at least double what you're paying for something. So for example, if you're paying $50 for a hoodie, fully shipped, printed, you want to be probably charging at least $100 for that.
Definitely.
Wholesale, a little bit of a different game, but probably won't really go into that. I mean, we can go into it with Colour Plan, actually. Let's do that.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's talk about our pricing a little bit. We'll start with retail. So we're going to price our retail hoodies at $99, and our t-shirts are going to be between $40 and $50, probably somewhere in the middle there, around $45. And for us, how we got to that price point is, obviously, though, we are only selling blank garments, but we believe these are premium blank garments. We've worked, very hard to find the quality of these fabrics that we're working with. We really believe in it. We've done a lot of market research.
Traveled the world.
Looked at what our competitors are offering. So I think we're extremely confident that this product, people are going to be like, wow, this is a seriously high quality product. So that's, I guess, helped us figure out where we want to price. And we have compared, price points of competitors and that kind of stuff too, which I would highly recommend you guys do before you just slap a price on anything. See what similar brands are pricing their things at as well.
At a general rule of thumb, Jack, I think it's always better to increase your price by about 10 or 20% than what you think, because reality is your brand's going to grow. A lot of you believe in it. You do the hard work. The last thing you want is to sit there on drop night, on a release, and you're looking at your website and going, these prices are just too cheap, for what I've done, for the amount of customers. Think about selling hundreds, if not thousands of your product. The last thing you want is to be ruining the day, going, why did I price these so cheap? You're better off. You can always drop your price. Your customers are going to love you when you drop your price, but you don't want to be increasing it. So start at the beginning, rip the Band-Aid off, increase your prices a little bit. And that's sort of what we've done, to be honest. Our hoodie at $99, we wanted it to be affordable. We've priced it under $100. We think it is affordable from that sense. But I also didn't want it to be $50, $60 because we put a lot of time and effort into this. You can't find this hoodie anywhere else on the market. You'd have to fly to Portugal probably to be looking at the quality we're dealing with. So we truly believe in what we're releasing.
It's also worth probably noting that certain products are more profitable than others as well.
I want to make a quick point on this. This is a learning that hit me very between the eyes early days, and I'm not sure.
On this.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the listener's fully aware. It's quite a simple principle. So in streetwear, the general rule of thumb is hoodies are going to be double the profit per t-shirt. So let's speak quick maths here. If you buy a $20 t-shirt, it's printed, everything, it's costing you $20, and you sell it for $50, you've made $30 profit. Congratulations, you can get yourself lunch. If you buy a hoodie and it costs you typically $40 to $50 printed, and you sell that at $100, you've made $50 profit. So roughly nearly double the t-shirt. So you need to sell 2 t-shirts for every 1 hoodie. So on drop night, if you sell 500 t-shirts, that's great, but you could have sold 250 hoodies and made the exact same amount of profit.
Yep. Good for brands to think about what products they're bringing in, and just before you jump into a new product, have a think about what that looks like from a pricing standpoint as well. I think that will help dictate maybe whether you go ahead with that product or whether you go elsewhere. So good one to think about. Let's go to the second question. We had, how do you find models? And on top of that, how do you find good spaces to shoot?
This one, there's again no rule book. There's no real rule book with anything in streetwear. It's all how you please to do it. But I guess in this world of social media, looking around, there's so many different looking people and different communities that you can dive in. So I would first figure out what your brand stands for. Is it a certain type of music or a certain aesthetic that your brand associates with? Is it like a sporting brand? Does it associate with certain sports? From there, you're going to narrow down what your brand's values are, and then you can look for individuals in your inner community that align with that. I think it's important you go beyond your inner circle of friends and family, because that'll help you grow the brand, word of mouth, get the products out to people that have never seen it before. So be brave, jump on DMs, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to do it. It's a big thing we push on this podcast.
Yep, that's all Jesse's been doing the last 2 days. Like, we have a shoot coming up. Jesse's just been bang, firing away. See someone with a cool aesthetic that aligns with what we're doing. Bang, hey man, like, love your style. Would you like to jump in a shoot with us? Just put yourself out there and that stuff. I mean, we've had great success doing that.
Definitely. I've probably sent about 10 DMs and I've had about 3 or 4 people say yes. So, that's to me a great success. You're not every person that reads is going to want to do it. To be fair, most of the people that have said no are actually busy. It's Saturdays, it's a birthday. None of them, really told me to stuff off. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Stuff off.
I can't swear all the time on this podcast. I think my mum might listen to this one.
And then the second part of that question, good spaces to shoot.
So spaces it's a 2-prong approach. So my biggest advice from a physical standpoint is when you go out to a restaurant in an area you don't normally go, or, you're catching the train out somewhere, you have to keep your eyes wide open and really take in the spaces around you. You'd be super surprised when you start opening up your brain to, a certain room, it might be covered in dark grays and you're releasing a garment that would, the backdrop would be amazing for that. So make sure you keep thinking critically and take notes. Then, of course, we live in a very digital era. So jumping on a great website we've stumbled across, we actually booked in our shooting space on creativespaces.net. That's a really, really great resource. And again, we give that to you as value. I only stumbled across it recently. I wish I'd been on there for the last few years, because I think there's about 2,000 spaces on there. So surely there's going to be something that you'll love on there. It's quite affordable too.
Yeah, the prices look pretty reasonable. Yeah, we're pretty happy with what we got. So
definitely,
check it out. I'm sure there'll be some spaces to suit your needs on creativespaces.net.
Definitely. And
That's what it's called.
don't be afraid to like just dive on Instagram, look at people's stories, screenshot, what you're taking in, DM them. Where is that? I do it all the time, whether that could be another brand or a friend of yours is out somewhere like, oh wow, I've never seen that space. Tell me more. How do I get there? Go check it out yourself. Jack, I think that sort of wraps it up.
Hopefully we answered your questions well. We're looking forward to doing more of this in the future. So if you do have any questions or if you want to have some questions for us, jump in that Facebook group, jump on the Instagram DM story, and we'll be sure to try to address as many as we can.
And whilst you're still with us, you've made it all the way to the end, and we love that. We love you, else we wouldn't be here without you. 5 stars, guys. Supposedly it's a big deal. You could leave 5 stars on this episode on the podcast. Mean the world to us. Thanks, guys.